and welcome back to Newfoundland and Labrador Studies 2205. This is Unit 3, The Country Grows, Section 2, Lesson 4, Video 2, on Major Operations and Impacts. The Bell Island operation began with surface mining in 1895, and by 1900, this site was one of the most productive iron ore operations in the world. Underground mining began at the site in 1902. By 1910, mining tunnels extended several kilometers under the ocean. Before the First World War, the Bell Island mine employed around 1,300 people. Mining continued there until 1966, making it the longest continually operating mine in Canada. I got the chance to visit the Bell Island mine on a school field trip, actually, and if you ever get the chance to visit, I suggest you take that tour. It was very eye-opening. Now let's talk about the Buckens mine. In 1905, assays confirmed that there were significant quantities of ore in the Buckens River area. However, it was not considered viable until 1925, when technological advancements made it possible to separate the minerals. Zinc was the first metal extracted, which is in the picture. Then later, lead, copper, gold, and silver. In 1927, the A&D Company and the American Smelting and Refining Company began to build a mine and a company town that became Buckens. ASARCO leased the land from the A&D Company, and the operation continued for nearly half a century when they closed in 1984. The next mine I'd like to bring up is the St. Lawrence mine. A fluorspar mine opened in St. Lawrence in 1933, and this is fluorspar ore. It is also different colors as well, so if you ever look it up and get the chance to Google it, it comes in all different kinds of colors. Fluorspar from St. Lawrence is a yellowish color. Sometimes you see blue or purple. Fluorspar is used to manufacture aluminum, glass, and enamels. Workers became sick from exposure to the dust and radon gas released during the mining process. Many were diagnosed with lung cancer in the 1940s who had worked there. The St. Lawrence mine closed in 1978 due to labor unrest, safety issues, and competition in Central and South America. So, there were a lot of economic effects of the mining industry. With the opening of the major mining operations in Newfoundland and Labrador, mining began to increase its contribution to the economy. Eventually, mining increased in importance until the value of its exports matched that of the fishery. The number of miners was far less than people employed in the fishery and any other sector of the economy, despite it involving so much exports. Although before 1860 and after 1930, some royalties were paid to the government based on the gross product of the mines. Most of the real profits went to the investors from outside of Newfoundland and Labrador. This was mostly because most Newfoundlanders and Labradorians did not have the capital to start a mining operation. Impacts on lifestyle and culture. Well, since some mines opened when the economy was poor, the opportunity to work in them was welcomed. For many, it meant giving up the fishery and relocating to a mining town. Like forestry, mining provided steady wage-based jobs. Miners worked long hours. The workers in Buckens typically worked 14-hour days with no overtime pay. On Bell Island, what this picture to the right depicts, workers typically worked 11-hour shifts, 6 days a week. Before 1923, boys as young as 10 could work at the Bell Island mines, separating rocks from the ore on the conveyor, taking care of the horses, and getting the adult workers water and food. These boys would quit school by grade 3 or 4 to work for approximately 10 cents an hour. Safety was a major issue for miners. Breathing issues, lung cancer, injury, and even death from rock falls, explosions, and collapses were all possible. I had a fair few family members who worked in the Bell Island mines, and heard many stories from my grandparents talking about them. Even had an older relative who was killed in an explosion at the Bell Island mine. So now it's time to review. I'm going to ask you to complete the activities in Brightspace. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next lesson.